Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Real Talk with Michelle podcast. This is episode number 73, Real Talk with spiritual healer and soul coach, the Thrive Goddess, Paige Brown. Welcome to the show, Paige.
Hey, thank you for having me. Did you hear my little sneeze? My fault. I tried to hold it in.
You could not hold the sneeze, so I was just waiting for it to happen. It is fine. It's
Thank
real,
you
guys.
so much. Yes, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, goddess.
You're so welcome. Paige, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Paige, Thrive Goddess Brown, and I'm a creatress, I'm a healer, I'm a goddess, I'm a mom, I'm just multifaceted. I'm a boundless being out here spreading creative energy and sunshine and sparkle everywhere I go, okay? I am transitioning, or I have transitioned from the wedding industry to the healing industry, and it's been like a super beautiful process. I didn't realize how similar they were.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about me.
And speaking of that, so I'm kind of glad you brought that up first, because I like to talk about our journeys to what we end up doing from where we started. You are a well-known wedding experience planner in Nashville. Beautiful weddings. Talk a little bit about that part of your career.
Okay, so I started my wedding business about 6 years ago. About 6 years ago. I was in the middle of planning our own wedding, and I didn't really have clarity on what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't like what I was doing, right? I was working at Carmex. I hated my job. I hated working a 9 to 5. I had a stank ass attitude every day. It was just like,
I know this feeling.
Yes, it was just horrible. So around that time, we were engaged to be married, and we were young, so we didn't have no money. So I had to plan my own wedding. We had to plan our own experience. And in the process of that, I had gotten promoted at my little job, and I was responsible for designing all the celebratory events, and I really started kind of getting into it, planning the wedding and then doing this at work. I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes. So I quit my job. I had no plan. I was just like, I gotta go. I quit my job, and then I started my wedding business, and I've never looked back. We've been on Bravo TV. I've been published in magazines and the newspaper. It's really been a beautiful journey for sure.
Yeah, it was. I remember you planned a goddess gathering, which, guys, this is my first experience communing with women. And just thank you for inviting me there as well, Paige. This was kind of around the time where I was going through transitions in my own life and really couldn't explain to anybody what I was going through. Now, thinking about it later, this was like my own personal awakening moment, the tower, everything falling around me. And you created a space for women to get together. And I just remember how beautiful the decor was from it. And what made you even think to do an event like that?
Well, so it's so funny that you mentioned that. I think we were all having our tower moments in different ways, know? And so I remember I was going to therapy at the time, and my therapist left her to death. She was like, baby, I'm here to listen, but the things that you're discussing are spiritual. You need to talk to my person. I can't really help you, right? So she's like, I'm going to send you to my mentor, my spiritual advisor. So I had a call with, the lady who's now my mentor. And when I got on the phone, she was just spilling all this stuff that my guides and my ancestors wanted me to know. They've been trying to get my attention. They've been trying to tell me. Right. And so they were like, the first thing that you need to do is hold space. You need to hold space. You need to host a goddess gathering. I was like, what is that? I was just really overwhelmed. And like you said, this was in my wedding studio, right? Yes. So in the back area was the storage, all the glassware and the florals and the draping. But then up front, we were having a whole spiritual goddess gathering. So that's kind of how it started. Just getting that clarity from my mentor and understanding the direction and my path. And then the rest has been history.
Yes. Talk about which we just said. I really think almost everybody in that space was having their we made it here, but everything needs to crumble to be found. Talk about your personal awakening moment and what it was like for you.
Okay, so Again, around this time of therapy, I was just having all these really interesting experiences, and I was talking to my mentor about it. And I just felt lost. I feel like I had accomplished everything that I wanted with the weddings, right? Like I would go places and people were like, there's Paige Brown. But I still wasn't satisfied. Like it's still, I feel like there was still a void that I was trying to fill. And I realized that success couldn't do that. So I was doing really well on paper, but I just wasn't fulfilled emotionally, spiritually, energetically. You know what I mean?
Right. I know what you mean.
So, girl, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So, I think, you know, going to my mentor was really the first step for me. It was kind of the beginning of my spiritual awakening and understanding the things that I needed to do. A lot of shadow work, right? Yes. Oftentimes, like that depression that I was housing, that anger and that resentment, it was really just a void. It was really just a space of emptiness. And so I had to really come home to myself so that I can see the parts in myself that needed to heal and grow. Because I was just walking around in autopilot. You know what I mean?
Okay. You saw me in autopilot.
Just I didn't know anything was wrong with me. I was like, what do you mean?
Right. Isn't that crazy though? Like when you look back on it and you're like, nobody could tell me nothing. Nothing was wrong with me. Like what? I'm doing all these things, but it was still just like, girl, you was lost.
I had all the physical success, but spiritually I was blind. Sure. Yeah.
I was really turned off to the power, to the magic. Like none of it existed to me. Like I was really just accolades on paper, like period.
That's it. Absolutely. I agree. Same.
How did you tap into or become aware of your intuitive gifts?
Well, it's so funny because I'm happy that you said become aware of, because they've always been there. I just didn't know it. Especially as a wedding designer, you have to be a visionary thinker. Like you have to see the finished product before it's done, right? So as I was doing this wedding, I was setting intentions. I was working with the energies of earth, air, fire, and water, right? I was creating magic. I was like transforming spaces, like, which is alchemy in itself. I just didn't know it. So I remember, again, back to my mentor around this time when I was super lost, she was like, you have the gift of sight. Like you are an oracle, and what part of your assignment here is to guide people back home to themselves. And I was like, girl, I don't even know myself. How am I supposed to be guiding people back to themselves? So I remember that was so scary for me when I first got the assignment, because I was a very successful wedding designer and I was concerned about my money. Okay. I was like, I don't want my clients to think I'm off, or I'm like this woo-woo witch, right? Dark energy, because, you know, we have a very negative connotation around spirituality, which has been changing and blossoming. And I'm so excited about that. But I was just like very scared. So I remember I first started putting myself out there as a reader, but I was only putting it like in my stories. I was just very low key about it. And the first reading I gave, I was just doing them for free, I remember. And the feedback I was getting was so intense. It was like, you have no idea how much you helped me. I was just asking for clarity, like all these things. And I was like, wow, really? Like, I'm just kind of, you know. And so after those first few, I really got my footing. And then the Holy Spirit just kept sending me people and sending me opportunities. And I realized, like, okay, this is my anointing. So those voices in my head that sound like my thoughts, that was actually my intuition, right? That gift, like things that are coming to me when I'm thinking I'm just giving advice, I'm actually sharing information from a higher realm. So it was really just with like putting myself out there. And honestly, I kind of got pushed out there, if we're being real. Spirit was like, get your ass, right? I'm going to take everything from you. I'm going to pull this rug from under your feet. I'm about to take you out your comfort zone to where you have no choice but to share this gift.
And I have noticed that, like, just watching you, like you said, it go from your stories to it becoming like this just really amazing, like full experience. And you kind of I hate to just be like, you changed who you are, because I don't believe in that. You're coming into who you are, and like watching the essence of who you once were, and then like the goddess that you transformed yourself into with self-love and everything. Like, talk about kind of that journey where you finally did just kind of come out into the Thrive Goddess.
I remember when I first started the Thrive Goddess, when I even created the name, it was like based off of, I was offering business coaching sessions, right? Because one thing I can do is run a business, okay? One thing I can do is make a lot of money. So I was like, people kept coming to me and asking for advice, and these things came so naturally to me. So I was like, I'm not going to be sitting, no, we cannot chat over lunch, right? You can book a session, or I can, teach you. So I started with Thrive, which was like a business workshop, and it was doing really well. And I was having women gather, kind of the same thing, but it was more on the physical plane. And so once I really started going through my evolution, because I'm a Scorpio rising and my chart is ruled by Pluto, right? So like transformation is my thing. Rising like the Phoenix from the ashes is my thing. So when I was like, you know what, I feel like, what am I going to call my business, like my spiritual business, what I'm going to call it? And I was going back and forth, and I really didn't have clarity. And I was like, maybe I'm the Thrive Goddess, right? So that's kind of how the name came about, and now it's just kind of stuck, you know. And I feel like it's a true embodiment of who I am. And it's so, the beautiful thing about growth and transformation is that, like, we all have these super magical gifts that lie within us, but the way that society has been set up, like, we've been really under this illusion, right? It's like this program to keep us from our divinity. So a lot of people are just walking around with this veil over their eyes, having no idea of who they truly are, their true essence, their God body, right? Their God selves. And so I've always been very feisty, I've always been very fierce, and I've always been able to alchemize and transform things with my hands, not really realizing how all this was connected. So I would say the moment that I really started to realize like the true goddess that I am is when I started to prioritize myself, not my business, not everybody that I love, but me. And like prioritizing me gave me so much clarity. I was able to have a lot of introspection and like spend time with myself, do things that I really love. Right? And in that process, I fell in love with myself. And it's a continual journey, right? We're always growing and we're always expanding. But I always tell people, baby, if I can transform and become the person I am today, baby, anybody can do it. Okay. Anybody can do it for sure.
Right. Like I've seen Paige on Instagram doing cartwheels and dancing, and I'm like, I can tell that fulfills like something in you that's like your childlike kind of nature, and it keeps you fun and fresh and keeps the energy moving, which people like need to do more of. I asked somebody the other day, I was like, do you think I'm childish? And he was just like, no, like, I think you just like to have fun, and like, what makes you like light up. And he's like, so that might seem childlike to someone, but like it makes you who you are. And I'm like,
absolutely,
because I'm like, I know that the essence of me is always just going to be youthful, and it's just my spirit. Like I can't help it. I love to laugh, and I love to play and dance, and so watching you do that is really empowering.
Thank you. I'm so happy to know that. And it's so, you know what? I'm happy that you mentioned that. I feel like that's another key component to expansion and growth and miracles is connecting to that inner child. Society has really taught us that we need to grow up. Baby, that is the biggest fucking trap. I didn't even really realize how fun I was, Michelle. I didn't even know like how funny I was, am. I had no idea because there was so much trauma stored in my body. Like everything was just so serious and so stiff, and
I'm a business owner, and I gotta do this.
Girl, baby, I'm gonna twerk, okay? Whether I'm in a grocery store, baby, I'm gonna twerk. And I know that just like when we operate in that embodiment, our true embodiment, that's we shine our light and we empower others, and that's how we change the world. You know what I mean? So I'm so happy to hear that and know that everybody should really be connected to that child spirit.
You have to, like, you have to. It's like ask your child, like, what is something you love to do then, and do it now. And I find myself going closer to those things even though I'm getting older, I'm like, I read all the time and I journaled all the time and I did puzzles. Like I'll be over here doing puzzles, girl, by myself in here, like hanging out, listening to music, like all the things I love to do then. And it makes me better for the other work that I want to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I still remember when we were children, we didn't really give a fuck what anybody had to say. It was like, watch me do my cartwheel.
Yeah.
Even if it was crooked, right? We were so confident, like, look, you know what I mean? So when you have that connection to your inner child, you move through the universe, you move through the world fiercely and unapologetically, knowing that you're divinely covered and protected, you know?
So true. So true. Yeah. You were recently certified Reiki Master. Congratulations.
Thank you, girl.
What talk about what led you into that healing modality? What were you pulled to?
Well, that's a good question. I literally just woke up one day and was like, I want to learn Reiki, like, and I want to teach it. Not realizing that all this is like literally part of the together, part of my chart. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I like was on. I think I went to like some app. I can't remember, a Thumbtack or something like that. And I was scrolling, and the Holy Spirit was like, "Hi." And I reached out to her. She didn't get back to me. And there was other people who were sending me offers, and Spirit was like, no, her. So she hit me via text like 2 days later. It was like, hey, I'm back in town. I'm just getting your alert. I would love to teach you. And like the rest was just smooth sailing. I started out just wanting to learn, you know, the basics, girl, and became a master. And I just love it.
I want to say it's one thing about a person who, like, you might learn something, but if we could go ahead and do all of it and just get it all in, like, I'm gonna do the whole.
Let me just do it. Yeah. And
I'm already in it.
I remember I had become certified in level 2, and I was like offering a lot of videos on TikTok and Instagram, just collective videos, like maybe 2-minute videos of Reiki for people to feel it.
Love that.
Thank you.
I do. Like, I feel it when you're just like, take a minute. I'm like, all right, I got it. I feel it. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
You are so welcome. So yeah, I started doing those, and my teacher was like, hey, we got to get you in here for Reiki 3 now. I've never seen anything like this. Like, you've got some powerful hands. I have to certify you for 3. Like, I wasn't even really, you know, and I was like, okay, girl. Like, even now, sometimes I know my power, but it trips me out because I've been living with myself my whole life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when we've been living with the risk, we think it's normal. We don't realize that other people are not operating in the same way. So
exactly,
it's just an honor to be here. And especially with the age of Aquarius, you know, working in groups and like healing in groups. If I could touch multiple people at one time, baby, sign me up. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's great. What tools do you use in your spiritual work that you couldn't live without?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say less tools, more ritual, because I am the tool, right?
Okay.
Like I am the tool. But and tools are really just reminders. It's like permission slips for us. I think that because when I first started my spiritual journey, even then, it was still a really dark space because I didn't have a connection with the divine, right? Yes. I was connecting with all the deities and all the things, and I was doing all the magic, but girl, like, didn't really fortify that relationship with spirit. So like, that's my number one priority, making sure that relationship is always intact. I talk to God all the time. I talk to my angels all the time. Like, I make it very clear, like, you are welcome here. You are welcome into this space. I also really love immersing myself in nature. Like, I have to be, especially my Mars is conjunct my sun, which means like my temper can be very short. Okay, as a goddess, I can destroy and create, right?
Yes.
So because I know this about myself, I'm making sure that I'm putting that energy somewhere, right? And then I have a healthy outlet for it. So walking, moving my body, yoga every day, tantric exercises. I also believe in pleasure is prayer. So I love a little orgasm almost every morning. Okay.
Listen.
Like, this is how I start my day. I can't really find from a goddess. Okay?
I'm feeling you. I feel you on that one right there.
Yes.
If my partner is here, he's with it. If he is not, then
we still got things to do, right?
Yes. And it makes me feel good. I feel like my blood gets pumping. I'm ready to move. I'm awake. You just giving your body like really good energy.
Yes, really good energy. Really good energy. So my herbs, I'm a bruja, right? So I'm always working with my herbs. I'm always cleansing my floors. I'm always cleansing my energy. I'm always making my tinctures. Those are my medicines. That is something that I do daily. My ritual is what kind of keeps me in flow.
Okay, I love this. Talk a little bit about your work with like herbs. Like what are you creating now? Are you creating things for sale?
I'm supposed to.
Okay.
We're getting there. I have a few things. I'm getting there. I'm getting to a space where I'm creating like actual healing candles and potions for others because they work so well for myself. And I have the monthly, like the group Reiki, in which I'm working magic on everybody's behalf. And I love. What I create for the most part is definitely different oils, different candles. I work with the energies of the moons, teas, bath salts, just every single thing. I feel like everything that you do should be magic. I feel like you should do nothing without intention. So my entire day is just filled with magic, whether I'm sweeping, whether I'm mopping, right? Whether I'm moisturizing my body, it's all ritual. It's all magic.
I love that. So much. Do you have any, I know you mentioned one of your mentors. Do you have other people that you kind of look to for guidance or inspiration?
Who really, this is sis in my head. And we've had a few conversations before, but we've never met up in person. Good Healer is my fucking what? Like I was really in her words back at the beginning point in my journey were really helpful to me because it felt so.
It's matter of fact.
It was matter of fact, but it was also very empowering seeing a Black woman in her power and speaking the words of the divine without any fear. Right? Yeah. Like just without any fear of consequences. It's like, this is my job and this is what I'm here to do. And for me, especially with that Scorpio rising, like I was very private. I was very isolated. I was very, I didn't want people in my business like that. And so I had these gifts, but I really didn't have the capacity to share them in that moment. So I feel like she kind of really opened the door, not just for me, but for a lot of healers, because she was kind of doing it before it was really a thing to do. So I got to give sis her props. Bahati Life is also, she was like a mentor to me in my head for the longest. And I just feel like, sometimes that's what's important about like being on a spiritual journey. Even if you can't have a mentor that you speak to directly, find your tribe online, find your tribe on YouTube, right? Find people who speak life into you, whether directly or indirectly, because the two of them, they have no idea, how much they've really impacted me. And I know that just from them spreading their wings, now I have the capacity to do the same, and I'm empowering others in the same way that they've empowered me. And that's what it's all about. You know?
It is. And I can say the same thing. I like the Hood Healer, definitely. I just like the way that she gives the message, because a lot of times, like if it's just too airy, too perfect or something, and like for me, I'm just like, tell me the real. You need to be like,
you see what I'm saying?
You be playing, and like, and I'd be like, oh god, like I'm like, oh, she's talking to me today for real. Like, you need to quit, acting like you're not powerful, and like, she really tells you like you need like get busy doing your stuff, stop playing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? It's just like, I agree with that. And I feel like everybody needs a different type of delivery. And for me, I'm a Gemini moon, okay, Scorpio, right? I'm straight to the point, no fucking chasers, what's up, right? So like when her messages, that kind of helped me, but for other people, that may kind of trigger them or whatever the case. I want to remind people that there are some angels with, light orbs and beautiful wings, but there are also some angels with fire swords. Baby, I'm in here with the swords. What's up, right? We still all have the same message, but we have different deliveries. We have different tribes and different communities. So that also really resonated with me too, girl, for sure.
Yes, that was for me. Like, but like you said, sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm in a different kind of mood. I'm like, ooh, that's too much for me today. It's too much for me today. But it's only because it's the truth.
My lower self needed Hood Healers to talk to me like that. You know what I mean? Now that I'm in a much more like, I feel like a different delivery is better for me now. But in that moment, you know what I mean? Sometimes we need that type of shit. Like,
yes,
I'm finna cuss your ass out. Get your ass up. What the fuck you doing?
Right? And when I first got my first message where I was like, whoa, like my dad came in like during the bottom of the bottom while the tower was falling, and he was like, Michelle, what are you doing? Get up right now. And I was like,
get the fuck up.
I was like, oh, like, and I really got up out of bed, and that was the next day. I was cleaning up my house. I was like, let me get this bad energy out of here, because it's time to like step back up. Because my dad was like, first of all, how much stuff we got to take, how much turmoil I got to put in, like get that
before you get the damn message, get the fuck up. Also, like, sometimes we can't receive the message when it's like, oh, lovely, you're perfect. It's like, no, give me the real. What's up?
Get up. So, like, it was loud too. And I was like,
I love it.
Oh, I was like, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
let me get up. And he came from beyond, because a lot of it had come from the grief of his passing. I think he let me have a little time with it and like go through it. And then he was sick. He was just like, nope.
This shit, like, this done. We're not doing this no more. Like, you know what I mean? Over. I done gave you your time. Get the fuck up. Absolutely.
Up right now. And I was like, wow, that's when I like started to become aware of a little bit more than me. And there's spirits around me that I could choose to talk to. And I think that's kind of what he was saying. Like, I'm here. You can talk to me about your sadness, and like we can figure out how to work through this, but you know, you can't keep doing this, wallowing and like letting your life, like not taking control of your life. Like, it's time to push through, you know, and get back moving. That was definitely an experience. But how does your spirituality kind of help you balance your mental health, your self-care, and your wellness practices?
I think that's a really good question, Michelle. I think that one thing that I would love for people to remember is that everything happens in the spiritual before physicalizes here in this realm. So the spiritual routine is more important than any other routine that you could have. So I find that like by prioritizing that and always sticking to my ritual, always sticking to my spiritual hygiene, the rest just falls in place naturally.
Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
You did. And then I was just going to follow that up with like, talk about a morning or like a day in the life of like Paige. Like, how do you start if somebody was looking to maybe put a spiritual practice together that flows?
It's so funny that you asked that, because I have a goddess who reached out and we've already started filming, or we're going to put together like a mini, you know, video of like how to get this going and what I do on a day-to-day.
Yes.
But hold on, my screen went out. Can you see me? Okay.
I see you.
So the first thing that I do before my feet even hit the ground, I'm talking to God. God, what's up? It's your baby.
Good morning.
Good morning. So after prayer, then I'll like go use the restroom or whatever, and then I'm always lighting my altar, like feeding my ancestors incense, giving them thanks, playing different sound frequencies, making sure everything's good, right? Because when we venerate our ancestors, when we make sure they good, they make sure we good. Okay.
Let me throw in one thing.
Yeah.
You gave me this. You were like, listen, turn on those sound frequencies in the morning, walk around, do whatever you normally do, but have those playing in the background, like while you're cleaning, doing normal stuff. Thank you for that. I do that as well. You're welcome.
Good. So I actually sleep to mine now. Yes. I do sleep to mine. So I guess I should mention that overnight I'm sleeping to my frequency. So when I wake up, I'm already I'm in a great mood. Okay. Yes. Then I'm talking to God. I go to my altar, and then I go straight into meditation.
Okay.
I meditate every single day. I don't care if my son is late for school. I don't care if I'm late for a meeting. I don't give a fuck what's going on. I'm meditating, right? I'm praying.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing my stuff. So after I meditate, then I fix my tea with intention, and I make different teas for the chakras. Then I drink my chlorophyll water with my lime. Okay. And I put a little spirulina in there. Then I'm either drinking a fresh juice or my smoothie. And then it's time for the dance party. Okay. So I'm dancing, moving my body, listening to the frequencies. I also wake up very early every day, like at least 5:30, 5:45. You know what I mean?
Ooh, I'm a 5 girl.
Yes, girl. And then I get my child to school, and then I go for my walk, and then I get my day started.
All right. That sounds like a beautiful morning. And I try to tell people, like, I hate to call it like a morning routine, but it's just, for me, I feel so much better when I wake up earlier. Like by the time 9 o'clock comes, I tell people I didn't like, y'all just got up and I have done.
Yo, baby, now I'm finna have fun. Yeah, it's time
now
to
the rest of this from 9 until is like this, chatting with you, taking care, like making food for myself. Like I get to enjoy it, but the first part of it is like a devotion for myself.
Yes, and it sets the tone for the type of day that you experience. You know what I mean?
It does. It's like I'm like, I got an orb around me. Like I'm in it's like I talk to some of the girls at the shop, and I think that my spirituality now, I'm able to like kind of calm them sometimes, because sometimes you know how clients are, and like sometimes the girls are taking that internally, and I'm like, hold up. I was like, calm down. Nobody should be able to control your emotions this much. Like, let's just start there. I was like, and so I kind of think that with me starting my day like that, when they call me and they're frantic, I don't become frantic anymore. I used to be picking up that energy so much, and whatever they were going through, I'm amplified by it. And now, like, I've seen myself, which I think was a lesson for myself, be able to be like, okay, hold on, calm down. This isn't mine, but also let me help this person. Let them know, like, the 4 laws, like nothing somebody else should do should be able to affect you anyway. Like don't take anything personal. That's what I tell them. It's like, because a lot of this the client has something that they're going through already. They don't have anything to do with you. It's being taken out of you, but it's not your issue. So now what we can do is work on the solution to this, but no heightened sense of emotion is in this at all. But definitely starting my day, I just noticed that my reactions to things, like how I used to react in the past, much like you, I was like 0 to 100.
Like, run up first, ask questions later.
Right. And now I can take a beat and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna wait a while to answer this. Tension seem high. I'm just gonna chill on this for a second. I'll get back to that. Or just being able to just flow. I think it just helps me flow better. Like, I feel like
that's the key word, flow.
Yes. Well, we're on the conversation. I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from the sponsors. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Real Talk with Michelle podcast. This is episode number 73, Real Talk with spiritual healer and soul coach, the Thrive Goddess, Paige Brown.
What's up?
Yes. So Paige, as you may know, I am a certified life coach now, specializing in happiness and fulfillment. And I wanted to know, thank you, what your idea, which I know is subjective, what your idea of happiness is, and also something that you're grateful for today.
Well, that's a loaded question. Okay. Damn, I'm grateful for so much. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for my existence. I'm grateful to be here on this planet during this time. I'm grateful for my family, my soul tribe. I'm grateful for just like this embodiment, right? I'm grateful for flow and miracles and ease and bliss and just every single thing. I'm grateful for life. And my baby, my son, of course, my entire family, but especially my son. And my interpretation of happiness is freedom. It's freedom and it's flow. It's like, to me, I know when I'm in a space of happiness because everything is just flowing, the miracles just materialize in my life. Like, there's just so much joy and peace. I feel like oftentimes, like, when we're not living in the present moment, we're unable to be happy. So presence flow, gratitude. These are the energies around happiness. And when you embody these things, then like infinite possibilities exist for you and every great thing is possible.
You are so right. What a beautiful answer, because it's definitely when when I've had some people that have reached out to me, because like much like you, people want to tell me stuff, want advice, or want, you know, a sound opinion on something. And I notice with those people a little bit is the depression and then the anxiety. And I just point out to them, you know, just in a light way, that if you're, a lot of the times, and not all the time, but some of the times, if you're depressed, you're most likely thinking about a past event, something that happened that you're regretful of, you want to kind of go back to. And then sometimes in the anxiety part is a little bit of like thinking to the future too much. And I feel like I always try to tell them, just figure out a way to come back to right now, just right in the present, into the flow. And you know, of course, you have to take action steps with anything to like make sure everything's going right, everything's flowing. But it's just something about just being in the right now. And I do it sometimes myself, where I'm just like, hold up, you're going too far. Like, you're going too far. Come back a little bit. And stay in the present moment. And everything else I can say in my life, I don't know, I like to call myself a master manifester, but I realized it happened when I did the action, and then I let go of all expectations.
Detachment. Yes, absolutely. Detachment and then ritual, because ritual helps you stay in the moment. You know what I mean? Like if you are constantly doing things to work on yourself or constantly do things that bring you joy, it's kind of hard to like think about things that have transpired in the past or like what the future holds, unless you are like visualizing your highest future and like you are setting intention for what you want to experience. That's the only time you should be looking into the future, right? And then the past, maybe the past is done. It's right? We live present and we cultivate our future based on the present moment. So absolutely.
Give the people all the words. Give it to us.
Yes, girl.
Well, I am grateful that you are here, that you chose to share space with me. I think I say it every episode. I'm like, I wanted to have guests this season. And when I thought of people, I thought about you. And I still get nervous. Like, this is my kid part. I get nervous about like, I'm going to send out this email. What's going to happen? And I'm still just as surprised and elated as if I'm a kid when I get a response back and somebody books. And I'm like, yes, like this person wants to come. So like,
you've been going hard at this. I'm so happy to see you continuing to pour into your baby in any way that I can invest, girl. You know I'm here. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to see what is to come for all of us, you know?
Me too. Everybody that was in that circle, I have watched just kind of just blossom.
Take the fuck off.
Oh my God. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. So thank you for sharing space with me with that. Cause wow, like I was in the presence of all the greatness and
so many goddesses.
So many.
You've got to come to another goddess gathering. They are literal containers.
Because I saw the Miami one, and I'm a Heat baby, and so I'm like, oh my God, like next one, I'm in there.
Yeah, for sure. Girl. For sure.
Well, I want to thank you for being on again, Paige. Tell the listeners how to find you.
Yes, you can go to my website, thethrivegoddess.com. You can find me on Instagram at thethrivegoddess. I'm really in my TikTok bag too. So follow me on TikTok.
The TikTok queen right here.
TikTok queen. And then for all my design related things, just Paige Brown Designs, the website, Instagram as well.
All right, guys. And I'll put that in the show notes as well. And thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode number 73, Real Talk with Spiritual Healer and Soul Coach, the Thrive Goddess, Paige Brown. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, you're welcome, Queen. Bye.